This is chapter 7, question 84. Okay. It is about finding X. X is either chlorine or an oxide of chlorine. Okay. In the question, they tell us that X reacts with water. Okay. X reacts with water to give us HCl and also HClO3. Now, mole ratio given 1 HCl, 5 HClO3. So what is X? Now, there are two methods to solve these questions. One of them is to do trial and error. Okay. Another one of them is by counting the total number of each atoms, each element, okay, on both sides. So I'll start with the second method that I mentioned. I'll count the number of uh, atoms of different elements on both sides. Yeah. So I'll start with the products. Okay, because they told us the mole ratio. Now I have hydrogen, okay, chlorine, and then oxygen. So one hydrogen here, 5 hydrogen. So altogether 6 hydrogen. Chlorine, 1 chlorine here, 5 chlorines here. So 6 chlorines. Oxygen, 3 here, okay, times 5, multiply by 5, so 15. Okay, now X, okay, X is either chlorine, okay, or chlorine oxide, right? We do not know what's the molecular formula, because look at the answers, can be Cl2O, can be ClO2, can be Cl2O7. We do not know which one. Okay, so what do I want to tell you is, if okay, here's 6 chlorine, all the chlorine atoms are from X, because in water there is no Cl. Okay, now if X is Cl2, so it will be 3 Cl2. If X is an oxide of chlorine, okay, then we have more work to do. We need to find out which formula. Okay, now inside X there is no hydrogen, so all hydrogen in the products, okay, come from water. Okay, so that makes the whole thing easier. 6 hydrogen here all comes from water, so we have 3 water, because 3 times 2 6. No hydrogen in chlorine, no hydrogen in oxide of chlorine. Okay, so that tells us, okay, we have 3 oxygen from water. So also write here H, okay, sorry, let me erase this first. So H, Cl, and O. So I do the same for reactant also. So now I have 6 hydrogen. So balance already on both sides. 3 oxygen from water. Okay, this one from water. So that means 15 minus 3, I need another 12 oxygen. So this 12 oxygen can only come from X. So X must be an oxide of chlorine, not chlorine. So that rule out the answer A. So we know X is not chlorine. X must be oxide. Okay. Now, so how many, right? How do I know how many, how do I know which is the formula? Here I have 6 chlorine atoms, right? And all of them must come from X. Oh, sorry. I, okay, what did I do? Okay, right. Okay, so for X, I must have 6 chlorine and 12 oxygen. Okay, so for X, I should have 6 chlorine and then 12 oxygen. That means the ratio is 1 to 2. So which formula gives you ratio of Cl to O 1 to 2? This is 2 to 1. This is 1 to 2. This one 2 to 7. So X is C. ClO2. So if X is ClO2, so let me put it into the equation. And I need 6 of them. So now let's check. I have 6 chlorine, correct? 6 times 2, 12 oxygen from X. Okay, 3 times 2, 6 hydrogen from water, 3 oxygen from water. Okay, then I have this 6 hydrogen, 6 chlorine, 15 oxygen on the product side. Okay, the equation is now balanced. So X is ClO2. Now, if in the exam, okay, you cannot think of this method. So the worst case scenario is you have to do the trial and error method. That means you substitute Cl2, Cl2O, ClO2, Cl2O7 into this equation and see which one give you the mole ratio of 1 HCl and 5 HClO3. So same thing, you start writing the equation by writing down HCl, 5 HClO3 and H2O, and you put in one by one and do. That is if you cannot think of this method. Okay, so this is very time consuming if you do trial and error. Okay, you leave this question to last. You try to skip this question and do other questions first. Then only you come back to this one and do the trial and error method.